Hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking once more about that major upcoming snowstorm. Today, I actually have a snowfall map to show you guys at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, I would also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting Patreon page where I just made a post about another upcoming major snowstorm that could take place for the central United States a few days after this one is all said and done. So I highly recommend you check that out in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Anyways, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, where do you think we will see the most snowfall with this snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and we're starting out with our European model like we always do. And we're taking a look at maybe about 3 p.m. there on Saturday. So we're already just talking about tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. So we're very close to the storm. My confidence is disappointingly low for how close we are to the storm. I'll talk a little bit about that later on. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt for sure. I am anticipating some major shifts coming up shortly with this one because of how much disagreement we're seeing from the models. So we'll see all of this coming up, but we're starting out at this point and we do see some snowfall starting for Illinois and Indiana. Let's just move this on towards about 2 a.m. on Sunday, and you can see this is really when the snow begins to pick up for Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. We're seeing a ton of snowfall, a 999 millibar low pressure center over Missouri. It's looking quite major already for the Ohio Valley and portions of the Midwest as well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards where this one's going to enter into the mid-Atlantic and then move up the coast as a potential nor'easter. We'll see that in just a moment. Now, as you can see, we're taking a look at about 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. there on Sunday, January 31st. And as you can see, we're seeing plenty of snowfall going on for Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, even up through into DC and Maryland. We're seeing quite a considerable amount there. Let's just take this to about 7 p.m. that evening. And as you can see, we're taking a look still at Ohio, getting plenty of snowfall, some snow showers further west from there in the Ohio Valley and the Midwest. But mostly the mid-Atlantic we're talking about here now. Virginia, the Delmarva, up through even into Maryland and DC, even south central Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey getting in on some of that. We're seeing plenty of snowfall going on there. And as you can see, by the time we reach about 12 p.m. there or 11 a.m. on Monday, February 1st, you can see that we do see that low pressure center as a 998 millibar low pressure center offshore of the East Coast, moving quickly up the coast, bringing some moderate to heavy snowfall for the mid-Atlantic and portions of the southeast and the northeast. Eventually, as this one appears to be a pretty exclusive storm on this model for the very immediate coast, we see from basically Hampton Roads all the way up through the Delmarva, New Jersey, up through New York City and Long Island into New England. This draws huge comparisons to 2010 here, with just how exclusive this is for the immediate coast as a nor'easter. And now it basically moves up into New England as about, by the time we're taking a look at about 3 p.m. there on Tuesday, as a 987 millibar low pressure center, bringing heavy snow up there. And then by the time we're reaching about 7 a.m. on Wednesday, it's still bringing heavy snow to areas like Boston and southern New England. So this one's going to really linger around for sure. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to move on and take a look at what that GFS has to say in just a moment. But first I wanted to show you guys this on our European model. This is that Midwest, kind of central United States potential snowstorm that I made a huge Patreon post about. You can go check that out on our Patreon page for cheaper than a coffee. I highly recommend you do so, as we oftentimes update you guys on these very long range outlooks and give you guys kind of like that earlier heads up on these storms. A lot of people have been enjoying that over there. Now, by the time we reach about, I would say 3 p.m. there on Saturday, January 30th, you can see that we're taking a look at quite a bit of snowfall already starting for the upper Midwest, portions of the Ohio Valley as well. And then we move this towards about 3 p.m. and it's evident that this model is much further north than the European model. And this is where my confidence gets a lot lower, as I mentioned earlier. We can see that now we have two models completely disagreeing, one showing many inches of snow for certain regions and one showing none. This is when it starts to get extremely complicated to try to make a forecast. I tried, but I'm going to have a huge disclaimer for that, obviously, because of the fact that there's major disagreement. I expect major shifts very soon. As we can see for the mid-Atlantic, the southeast, we are seeing some snowfall, but just further north with some ice to the south instead of snow. And then by the time we reach about 3 p.m. on Monday, you can see that it does have that nor'easter, just a different type. This is more like Jonas, and as far as track, not as far as intensity, but, you know, Northern Virginia through into New Jersey and then New York City, kind of on more of a horizontal trajectory, and then it kind of curves up the coast eventually, bringing some snowfall to New York City, Boston, but just not as much as the European model. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at our Canadian model and see what that one has to say. It's the most major of them all. I'll give you a little sneak peek there. And then we're going to start talking about the snowfall totals according to all of these models. And then we're going to get into my snowfall forecast, which is my first one for this storm. So I'm very excited to present that. All of those things are coming up in a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at that Canadian model. And as you can see, we're starting out in the PM hours here of Saturday. And as you can see, we're already taking a look at that moderate to heavy snowfall for Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, as a 999 millibar low pressure center in Missouri. So all of these models have that, pretty much a pretty strong low pressure center out there. And then it eventually weakens quite a bit as it begins to finally transfer over to the East Coast. So most of that energy, as you can see, moves over to the Mid-Atlantic by this point at about 3 p.m. on Sunday, with some lighter snowfall going on for the Ohio Valley. But we do have some heavy snowfall going on for the Delmarva, portions of Virginia, Maryland, D.C., New Jersey, Pennsylvania. And then as we take a look at about 2 a.m. there on Tuesday, you can see this one just curves up the coast as a 992 millibar nor'easter, bringing heavy snowfall for portions of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Pretty much all of these states seeing heavy amounts of snowfall there. So what we're going to do here is take a look at the total snowfall according to some of these models. The European model here, what we're going to do is just walk through all of these color shades with you guys. So the grays is a dusting, if anything. The blues is where we're taking a look at about 2 to 6 inches of snow. The purples is about 6 to 10. The pinks is about 10 to 20. And then those lighter blues, the kind of they're kind of like teal colors. You can see some of it south of Boston there. That's where the European model has the most snowfall. That's where we're at 20 inches plus. So this is a very major snowstorm. Widespread 10 inches plus, widespread 12 inches plus, actually, matter of fact. So definitely taking a look at a major snowstorm. All of these models have that. Now, as we transition over to the GFS, you can see there's a lot less for the Ohio Valley in the Midwest, and it's further north over there too. But there is plenty also going on for the Mid-Atlantic still, and also the Northeast. Just less for the Northeast, but the same amount for the Mid-Atlantic, just a bit further north with that Mid-Atlantic snowfall. And then finally, that Canadian model here, you can see it's got a lot for everywhere. It's just further north, and you can see that it does have those 20-inch plus amounts widespread there throughout Pennsylvania, mostly central and I would say like northeastern Pennsylvania, up through northern New Jersey, and up near New York City actually as well. That's where we have 20 inches plus according to this model. Even up through Maine, we have 30 inches plus. So definitely a major snowstorm, but there's major disagreement going on as well. I wanted to show you guys those European ensemble, the European ensemble model, and then the GFS ensemble model as well. But here's that European ensemble model. And ensemble models are great because you're getting multiple opinions. So we see that this one has the bullseye through the Ohio Valley where it's showing 8 inches plus. But really what you want to know, what you need to know is that this is a very averaged out outlook. So I do anticipate 10 inches plus to be very widespread. This is just so many opinions going on that it just lowers the overall amount for any given location. That's a lot for the Mid-Atlantic and up through New England. You could tell what this one is calling for as far as a track. And then the GEFS model, which is our GFS ensemble model, you could tell it's much further north than what that European ensemble model was calling for, which is evident here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at my exciting initial drawn out forecast for this storm. I actually have a hand-drawn snowfall forecast for you guys coming up in just a moment. Now, if you're anywhere in this white region, you're looking at about a dusting to 3 inches of snow, so very widespread. A lot of people are going to be getting a dusting to 3 inches, or I guess flakes to 3 inches here, many regions. It's once we get into these lighter blues, it becomes evident where I expect the storm to go. We see 3 to 6 inches of snow within this light blue region. In the darker blue regions, because they kind of split up there, we're expecting 6 to 10 in both of these. So Iowa and through Chicago, Illinois. Take that all the way eastward and through western Pennsylvania there, including Pittsburgh. And then we see that one that starts out for portions of the mountainous regions of North Carolina and Virginia, and take that all the way north to Maine. I think this could be a potential just East Coast snowstorm in general. We have two 10 to 15 inch regions as well for the Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then also one there for Virginia all the way up through Boston. This includes DC, Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston in the 10 to 15 inch region. And then I expect multiple 15-inch plus regions. Um, One there in between Indiana and Ohio, where I think we could get a heavier pocket there, especially if the European model is correct. One there for the mountainous regions of West Virginia and Virginia. I think those high elevation areas are going to do a bit better, regardless of where that low tracks. And then also we see one for the Mid-Atlantic. That includes DC all the way up through into southern New Jersey, possibly narrowly missing New York City, but I think it's going to hit New York City and then also hit also Boston. Philadelphia is pretty much included in that as well. But you need to know, before I move on to the confidence tab, take this with a major grain of salt because I do anticipate major shifts. This could trend considerably further west, further north, further south, or further east, which would shake up this entire forecast. I actually expect that to happen. The difficult thing is we don't know what direction or what way it's going to trend. I just know it is going to end up looking different than what I'm showing here. So this is a very rough draft of what would happen if everything is correct right now, but I do think we are going to see some major shifts based on the fact that all these models are disagreeing. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe we do see a solution quite similar to this, but I do anticipate some major shifts before we actually see this storm take place. So tomorrow's video is going to be huge. I highly recommend you check it out because we're going to know a lot more tomorrow. And even Sunday morning as the storm is already underway. I expect to be updating this one as well that day. So we have multiple updates to come, multiple days of building more confidence. But for now, as we take a look at my confidence tab, I'm only at a 4 still. I think I was at a 4 yesterday as well. I remain at a 4 because of the disagreement on the models. I'm not up to a 5 yet. I'm not up to a 6. I'm at a 4 because of the fact that these models disagree, and I do expect major shifts and trends on the way. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how much snowfall do you think is possible with this snowstorm? And Deb K said 22 inches. I agree that it will be somewhere around 20 inches or maybe 20 inches plus with that maximum amount possible with this snowstorm. Where will that be? Well, that depends on how those trends go, but I do expect, though, that we will see areas see well over 15 inches and probably over 20 inches as well, somewhere within this storm. Now, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Sebastian Tao, John Benbenick, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry LePan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Aiden Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Alicia Davis, Mark J., Luke Valego, Gary's, and John Quilisi. If you would like to be a part of this Patreon end screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.